Hey there everybody, Eric from OUTER LIMITLESS coming at you today with another video. Now in today's video we are going to look at the SP33 version 3.0 from Sofirn. Now before we get too far, I would like to say thank you very much to the people at Sofirn who have provided this product for review. Now Sofirn is a brand whose products I've actually taken a pretty good look at in the past. All kinds of different shapes and sizes, Lumen outputs, different battery types. Sofirn is a brand who, to me, has made a very quality light, and everyone I've looked at, I have enjoyed it. I've liked the overall programming, the overall quality, the overall build quality. Everything about these has been great. So I think today, the SP33 version 3.0 is definitely going to be a performer. Now I say today I think it's going to be a performer. Guess what? I already know the answer. I had the opportunity to bring this light out on a recent backpacking and camping trip, where out in the wilderness for me, a flashlight of this size, it's absolutely great. I have kind of coined this size flashlight as the pocketable searchlight, and it really is. With overall performance in a nice compact size, you can keep this in your pocket, yet when you need it, you have a good quality throw, nice even illumination, quality long run time, and a flashlight like this, it's a little bit heavier than your typical 18650 flashlight, but this is also packing a whole bunch of performance. So what we're going to do is roll in a little bit of that field use footage, then we're going to come back into the studio and talk through the details. And if you're interested in seeing a little bit more about what I'm about to get into, do me a favor, stay tuned.
Now in today's video, we're hanging out here at this beautiful river. We had a great day of hiking. Very nice conditions, unbelievable, beautiful fall weather, and very nice, cool day. And this river here, the site of our campsite. Now we're here having some food, enjoying ourselves, and having a great time. But what I thought I'd do is take a look at this Sofirn Light SP33 version 3.0. When I get into areas like this, I absolutely love playing with high throw, high powered, pocketable flashlights, and that's exactly what we have here with the Sofirn Light SP33 version 3.0. Now it's not quite as scenic on this side of the river as it is over on the other side, but we do have some people, and I really don't want to flash them with a high-powered flashlight. Now, as we take a look out here, you will see that it is getting dark, but it's still fairly bright. And I'm always curious about how these flashlights perform, even when it's still bright out. So the nice thing about the Sofirn SP33 version 3.0, the programming is exactly what I would hope for. It's very easy to get to 3 brightness settings with very simple basic clicks, and I love that. So first is long press. Now as soon as I long press, that does go to the Moonlight or Firefly mode, depending on what you call it. I'll annotate all the Lumen outputs below, but that's the long press. Now single press again, and that turns off the light. So again, long press, and that's going to be nice to do the bulk of the things around my camp, around my, let's just say around my tent or where I'm sleeping. The ability for me to see without completely killing my night vision, and I'm hoping that the output on this will be just about perfect for that purpose. Now a single press, that goes to whatever mode you left it in. So now long pressing, you'll see it cycles between the modes, and I'll probably leave it on medium. Let's actually run through the gamut here while it's still bright out. This will be fun. So here, you'll see, not the Firefly, but this is the low mode, and this actually, even right now, is doing a great job illuminating out into the distance. You can't see it too well on camera, but way over here in the middle, there is, you can see it a little bit shining there. So illuminating out to that island, this has a beautiful throw. That's even on the low mode, so very impressive. And what's going to be great is if I had to use this flashlight to get me out of here, I can see everything I need to, even down there. So I can see what I'm walking into, I can see what my upcoming hazards are going to be, and I don't need to have any fear or missing any details. So this low mode is absolutely great. All right, so now a long press, that's going to be the medium mode. And again, that medium mode now really stepping up. Look at the throw, completely illuminating that tree. So again, decent runtime overall and a very nice beam pattern. I like this beam a lot. It is quite even. The camera makes it look like a very defined hotspot, but that is wide. I mean, that's not a very tight hotspot. Even right here, I mean, that hotspot there is about the same length as my foot. So casting it out in front of me, I mean, that's about 10 or 12 feet wide on that hotspot. So it's not really super tight. It's actually nice and floody, and I like that. So this medium mode doing a great job illuminating out into the distance, and again, even with fairly decent light out here. Now another long press, here you go. That's a good throw. At this point, completely illuminating all the way across. And as you see there you go. Nicely illuminating. Now that bank over there is, I'd have to say, roughly 100 feet away. I'd say a solid 100 feet, and very, very tall. I mean, that's going way up there. Nice big tall banks washed out by, looks like, high waters at some point, so pretty neat. But again, that high mode doing a great job. Now another long press, we're back into the Moonlight, and I'm gonna single press and turn the light off. But now, if I double press real quick, that's what I'm saying. You can get to 3 different settings real easy, and look how bright this flashlight is. This thing is throwing over a full 3,000 lumens, just doing a great job illuminating way off and all the way to the tops of the trees. Now, very, very bright. I can feel the light warming up a little bit, not a big deal. And I know this will continue to get warmer and hotter and eventually wear down the battery, but that turbo, nice and strong, perfect, like a searchlight. If you saw something that you really wanted to see out into the distance, this definitely will do it. Now a triple press, and that's the tactical strobe, and you will see that this strobe actually changes pattern partway through. So that's a triple press. Single press, turn the light off. Again, triple press, and you'll see that strobe. Set on turbo. Turbo mode. Yep. Medium, yep. High. Yep. Right. Turbo. Nice. Those bubbles are awesome. Wicked cool. Now at this point you can see the light is definitely going down. Still got some nice skies. No stars just yet, but it's getting later in the day. Sun's definitely down, and it's time to settle into our night. But definitely really nice flashlight. This Sofirn SP33 version 3.0 is definitely sweet. Now, if you haven't noticed, some of my videos tonight actually have been fully illuminated by this SP33 version 3.0. And that's exactly what's happening here. So, adding a nice little candlelight as I'm sitting here in the middle of the river, which is pretty cool. But getting myself ready for bed, and I need to blow up my pillow and get completely ready for bed, and just needed a little light, and the SP33 definitely fulfilling that role. So now back in the studio after the field use footage of this Sofirn SP33 version 3.0. Now all in all, very, very happy with this flashlight. The performance was great, runtime is sound, and this is something that, for me, I can say I would use this probably in the wilderness application, but in reality, mostly for inspections. Personally, for my job, I do have the need for a good quality, high power, and even illumination to perform inspections. And where this has a nice mix between a reasonable hotspot, I mean, not crazy, but still a reasonable hotspot, and a nice flood, the excellent programming with the 3 different depressions that get you into 3 different modes fairly quick, it's perfect for that. So at this point, let's get to the tabletop and talk through some additional details. So again here, the Sofirn SP33 version 3.0. Now, there is a flashlight that comes to mind that I have looked at in the past, and that is here, the WowTac A5. Now, both of these I would say are in the exact same size class and performance class. So it's just a little bit of a competitive option here if you're interested. Now, both of these being very nice in that 26-650 lithium-ion battery size class. both being a rechargeable flashlight, but this is where there is a little bit of a difference. The WowTac A5 using a micro USB, but this Sofirn light, which I greatly enjoy, is now utilizing a USB Type-C connector. And that's a big deal for me. Personally, I have swapped over most of my chargers and data cables and things to a USB Type-C cable, so having that capability to charge this flashlight is definitely a plus. Now you can see there that I actually depressed the button fairly easy, and I did that by mistake, but you know, I'm handling this flashlight. That's another difference between the Sofirn and the WowTac. This button here on the Sofirn, a little more raised, and does give you a better tactile means to find it. That was one of my main criticisms of the WowTac A5. I used this at night, and I was having a real hard time when it was dark trying to find that button. And as foolish as it sounds, I kept finding the USB charging port and thinking that was the actual button to depress, but obviously it wasn't. Whereas on the Sofirn, it is a little bit different, where you end up with a slightly different tactile means. There's a little raised lip there that you can kind of feel if you're careful. And it's also, I'd say, just a different shape and material altogether, where it's not rubberized. So it protrudes just a little bit, and then pressing the button, you can see that it does have an LED indicator there. So turning blue for a brief moment when it turns on, just indicating that the battery is of reasonable charge. Now going back to the programming on the SP33 version 3.0, which is magnificent. This is what I love about these flashlights. And I already talked about it, but going into the details, if you long press, that goes into your Moonlight or Firefly mode. Then, if the light is off, and you single press, well, that goes into whatever setting you had it on. So here I have it in low, long pressing, medium, high, low, medium, high, low, medium, high. And that's nice because now if I want to leave this, say, in the medium mode, which would be, probably pretty suitable for most walking and navigating, and also give me a good battery runtime, well, now I get the benefit of long pressing. Now I get my Moonlight mode, single pressing, now I get that medium mode, and double pressing, and that's my turbo. So I can get 3 very useful, beneficial light outputs with 3 easy changes of the way I operate the light. And that's much better to me than having to press the button and then long press and getting through the different modes, where now I get the benefit of 3 very quality and useful light outputs at the touch of the button, which is very, very nice. Now, build quality on this is generally very good. All of Sofirn's lights are excellent. There is one caveat, and I'll get into that in just a minute. But continuing on the outside of the flashlight here, very well machined, everything nicely done. Excellent aluminum, nice bezel. I like the way it looks. It's a little bit of a strike bezel, which is cool. You can see there it is gasketed, ends up with that nice orange peel reflector. A little bit less orange peel on this than on the WowTac. There you can see a heavily defined orange peel. That's giving you a very wide spread on the beam, very even, where here on the Sofirn and a little bit of a deeper cone, you do end up with that slight bit of a hot spot in the middle, which is cool because it's going to strike the balance again between a floody light and a thrower, which is nice when you want to do things like, for example, as I mentioned, inspections, or even using it for a basic search and rescue light. But definitely nice in terms of the shape of the reflector and also the texture. Now, the one thing that does kind of bother me just a little bit, and as you hear here, the battery just rattles. I don't like that. That kind of has me bummed out. And this is with the 26650 battery installed. So to me, this should, in reality, be the tightest tolerance. Now, this light also does allow the use of an 18650 using this adapter, but the adapter, too, having space. So I don't understand that. This, to me, everything should be super, super tight. So this battery, this 26650, should be the maximum diameter going in that, and I feel as though the tolerances should be a little bit tighter. Look at that. Too much movement there. So that is unfortunate. I think that's the one downfall to this SP33 version 3.0. Now, in full disclosure, I've never used the 1.0 or the 2.0, so I don't know if the 3.0 makes it any difference, and I don't really know completely what the difference is. However, what I do know is the battery, in my opinion, should be tighter. So I feel like the overall inner diameter of the main body tube is a little bit oversized for the size of the battery. But again, as I mentioned, you can use different battery types. So using an 18650, that will work. However, obviously, performance will vary between that and the 26650. So, in my opinion, a great light overall. I just think the tolerances are a little bit off. But to finalize this does come with a lanyard, some additional O-rings, and then your charging cable, which to me at this point, you can see I haven't even unwrapped this. Well, why? That's because now I have a ton of USB Type-C cables all over the place. And this is now finally a spare. So I'm done in some ways messing around with those flimsy micro USB cables, you know, the ones that bend and then they don't work and then they don't charge and then they break, and just a nightmare. USB Type-C to me, much, much better. So glad to see that Sofirn's paying attention to the details. Just at this point, a little bit of, I would say, a downfall in my mind, but if that doesn't bother you and you don't mind just a little bit of that rattle, not a big deal. I guess the only other thing, and I already know this answer, and I'm just going to show you to prove it. Obviously, this battery does not fit inside that adapter. So, a little bit unfortunate, but overall, a great flashlight. Awesome performance. Magnificent programming. I absolutely love it. And you have yourself a nice little pocketable searchlight.
And so, all right, guys, as mentioned, the SP33 version 3.0 from Sofirn. Again, I'd like to say thank you very much to the people at Sofirn who provided this for review. Now, all in all, I am a fan of Sofirn Light. With all these other options and the amount of flashlights I've used from them, they've all been great. And the SP33 as well. I really can't complain about it. Now, I like to get nitpicky with companies because when they're this good, I do think that if there's little things worth paying attention to, you know, as a reviewer, that's my job. It's to find the little things and to point them out, and I'm hoping that Sofirn will take that under consideration. Now, I haven't had too many other battery fit issues with any of their other products. Maybe it's just unique to this. Overall, not a huge deal. It doesn't affect performance, at least from what I can tell in my somewhat limited use, but a good amount of use at that. This has sat in my pocket now as an EDC flashlight for a couple of weeks. So between my field use footage that you saw and carrying this in my pocket for a couple of weeks, this has gotten actually some pretty good use. And to be honest, I don't even think I've recharged the battery yet. So good overall battery life, good overall performance, nice punch when you need it, excellent programming. Just a little bit of a fit problem with the battery, not a huge deal. So overall, I can say I definitely like it. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. I hope you like what you saw. Hope you found it a little bit informative. If you like what you saw, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.